Now, today I want to talk about the new age of money management and how can you go about to manage your own money in a low interest rate environment. Okay, lucky or not, the new age of money management has arrived. If you don't adapt to the changes that has occurred over the years, you're in deep shit, right? Over the last 30 years, the deposit interest rate has decreased from 10% to 6%, and now it is at 0.12% a year. Previously, it was still possible for someone with zero financial literacy to accumulate wealth by blindly saving their hard-earned salary into the bank. But now, if you do that, you're pretty much screwed. And there's low to no growth in your savings account, right? The first step of a new age of money management is to recognize that the old strategies and instruments may not work in a new environment that we are currently living in, right? While the environment that we operate in may have changed, the key money management principle has not. The key to managing money is to achieve a proper balance between your liquidity needs, risk, and return in relation to your goals and objectives, right? To do so, you need to have an understanding of the role, the liquidity, risk, and return of each financial instrument, and include the right instruments at the right proportion, right? It's kind of like cooking, right? Where you have to first understand the type of ingredients that's available in the market and then select the right ingredients that you need at the right quantity. Money management is not that much different. Now, whatever I'm going to share with you now is based on my opinion, right? Here's how I manage my own finances. Essentially, I split my money into two separate pots. The first pot is meant for things that are short-term of nature, while the second pot is for things that are meant for long-term of nature, right? So let me elaborate. For the first pot that is for my short-term plans, I strongly believe that we should not risk the money at all, as this money is essential and non-negotiable. I mean, think about it. Can you really afford to delay your marriage or renovation just because you have invested the money needed and the market is not performing up to your expectations? Right? The answer is no. And because of that, I prefer to set aside the cash that's needed in the next 1 to 5 years in the following instruments depending on my needs. Bank deposits are used for day-to-day expenses. Singlife account are used for my emergency reserves, and money market funds are used for my short-term savings. Sure, the returns of these instruments are low, but the priority when it comes to short-term planning should be on lowering your risk and increasing your flexibility. Okay? It should not be about taking on unnecessary risk and chasing after returns, right? Balance, my friend, balance. For my long-term plans, everything will be invested to achieve a higher return to accelerate my wealth accumulation process, right? We live in an era where there is no alternative. Simply put, you cannot afford not to take risk and invest when it comes to things that are longer term of nature. With interest rates at rock bottom, you will not be able to generate the returns that you need to achieve your long-term goals if you don't invest, right? Which is scarier, right? Investing and ending up with the amount you need despite the ups and downs along the way, or not investing and ending up not having the amount you need even though it was a smooth journey, right? You decide. Now, investing doesn't mean you have to do it blindly, right? Just because you need to invest doesn't mean you should just blindly put it in some blue chip investments or robo-advisors that the public recommends, right? Let me remind you of a few blue chips that flunked badly, like your Nokia, your SPH, Swiber, HighFlux, etc. The list goes on, right? Or robo-advisors that had closed down permanently, such as your Smartly. Okay, investing blindly is kind of like buying the ingredients without knowing what the recipe of the intended dish is. You may end up buying things that you don't need or things that are not suitable, which will ruin the entire dish completely, right? The right way to approach your investments is to have a good enough understanding to answer the following few questions. What instruments should you consider? What should you invest in and why? How much should you invest? How much should you allocate to each investments? And how should you manage your investments? These are the 5 key questions that you need to address for you to be able to be competent in your own investments, right? The last thing that you want for yourself when it comes to investing is to follow the herd or what a bunch of strangers are saying online, as chances are that they don't know what they're doing and neither do you, right? In short, when it comes to the new age of money management, here are the 4 things that you need to do. Firstly, you need to acknowledge that the old ways of money management is over. Secondly, you need to avoid taking any form of risk for your short-term plans. Thirdly, you need to invest your money for your long-term plans. And lastly, you need to manage your investments and risk and not to do things blindly. Okay, that's all I have for the video today. If you want to find out how you can benefit by working with an independent financial advisor and a certified financial planner, you can reach out to me via my website. Do connect with me on the following social media platform as well to stay updated with the future content. And you can also slide into my DMs anytime as long as you have any questions. I'll be happy to help. Right, that's all, and I hope to connect with you all soon.